This morning, Yash's Toxic finally left the postponement calendar and entered a theater. If you have been waiting since KGF Chapter 2, that sentence is the event. The rest of this is the movie review of Toxic that the first shows actually produced, not the review the trailers promised. The stake is simple. A Kannada superstar spent 4 years away from a lead role. A reported 500 crore gangster film survived 3 missed dates. Tickets were already expensive before anyone had seen the picture. By breakfast, the internet was already fighting over whether you should still buy one. Toxic, a fairy tale for grown-ups, opened worldwide on 26 August 2026. Gitu Mohandas directed it. Venkat Narayana's KVN Productions and Yash's Monster Mind Creations paid for it. Wikipedia, NDTV, and the Indian Express treat that 500 crore figure as the working budget, which is how this morning's coverage is calling it one of the most expensive Indian films ever made. That is a reported number, not an audited cost. You are not walking into a 2-hour mass teaser. Mint, reading the Hindi censor certificate, lists the runtime at 194.12 minutes. That is 3 hours and 14 minutes. The board rated it A, adults only. The Kannada original was certified on 13 August. The Hindi version cleared on 25 August, hours before the first show, after the board asked for dialogue replacements, a mute on an abusive line spoken to a child, and a reduction of a drug scene. Hungama reported intimate scene trims in the Kannada cut. The Times of India wrote that the same file had no visual cuts. Those reports do not agree. What every outlet agrees on is the rating and the clock. This is not a family show. The logline, without a twist dump, is a gangster moving through loyalty, morality, and a hunt for redemption in post-independence Goa. Yash plays both sides of the bloodline, Raya and Rumi, also called Ticket, Raya's son. The Hindu said he sidestepped the weak villain problem by playing hero and antagonist himself. Kiara Advani is Nadia, Ticket's mother. Nayanthara is Ganga, Raya's sister. Huma Qureshi, Tara Sutaria, and Rukmini Vasanth fill the rest of the named women. Rajiv Ravi shot it. Ravi Basrur scored it. The picture was shot in Kannada and English and is also playing in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam. Wikipedia puts the global screen count near 12,000. That is the movie you bought. Here is the movie people started describing before lunch. By 6 in the morning, Sackmilk's India Day 1 advance, including block seats, was already 64.85 crore, according to the Times of India. By 11, the Indian Express had the same tracker at 72.43 crore. That is tickets sold, not a counted collection. Do not hear those rupees as a verdict. Hear them as the size of the argument. Because the argument, on X, split in a way the advance did not. Almost every roundup agrees on Yash. Times of India, Deccan Chronicle, and India Today all lead with screen presence. One widely quoted first-half note said he looks terrific, that his charm carries the film, and that the cinematography, production design, and stylish action are the rest of the plus column. Deccan Chronicle embedded a post that treated the entry as a warning, not a walk-on. Attitude, look, body language, background score, Raya has arrived. If you came only to see whether the man who played Rocky still owns a wide frame, the first shows are not taking that away from him. They are taking the story. The same first-half note said, that is it. Story-wise, barely anything. Guns, violence, sex, fights, and slow motion keep arriving while the plot barely moves. Visually impressive. Style over substance. Another Times of India post called the first half a heavy KGF hangover. Yash in full KGF mode as Raya. Lots of bold scenes with women, too many action blocks without a real high. A later post said the second half should have been named KGF 3. That is not a critic's essay. That is the sentence the opening crowd reached for. Mess is the other word. Viewers told Times of India the first half was clumsy and tiring. The action felt artificial, the background score was a letdown, and only the interval and a few Yash and Kiara scenes were better. One praised the circus fight and the production values, then said there was no proper character introduction, no emotional connect, and a clueless screenplay. Another went louder, loud and empty, not one genuine high. Second half with a massive rescue job ahead. A 2.5 first half card called it regressive, and said watching women used as a prop to show off Yash's dominance was exhausting. Deccan Chronicle's feed is colder. One account scored it 1 out of 5. A recirculated post called it torture, a boring, soulless, violent action drama. A Tamil side interval note said it felt like a web series, too much noise in the name of score, empty in all aspects. A Telugu dub post in that same roundup said those were possibly the worst Telugu dialogues they had heard in a dubbed film. If you are buying a non-Kannada print, that complaint is already in the room. India Today's 10 a.m. frame is the cleanest summary the press has. Yash and the visuals on one side, writing, intimate scenes, and length on the other. The intimate scenes are not a side issue this morning. A Deccan Chronicle post said the bold scenes were more intense than expected, that some make you uncomfortable, that the dark atmosphere makes them fit, and that this is definitely not a family watch. That matches the A certificate. At a Hyderabad event, the Indian Express quotes Yash calling the film bold, original, ambitious, and path-breaking, the kind of art that should push you into the darkest corners of human relationships. The Times of India has him saying the promos are not the whole movie, that Gitu's film has a voice for women, and that you should watch before you decide. Opening morning posts are deciding anyway. Some hear darkness, some hear a star using women as scenery. The split is already loud. There is a second headline lane. News 18's first review line called the film bold and beautifully dark and used the words absolute masterpiece. The Indian Express live page, updated at 11:18, went the other way. One of the worst films. Early reviews slam Yash's film. Those two sentences can sit on the same internet because this is opening morning, not a critic week. A rumor headline about paid negative reviews is not evidence. Do not use it as a plot twist. The date path is why the temperature is this high. An April 2025 release slipped. 19 March 2026 was supposed to fight Durandar the Revenge and did not. 4 June slipped for a globally aligned date. The Indian Express notes the film is landing 503 days after that first April target. When a 500 crore, 3-hour, 14-minute adults-only gangster film finally opens in an Onam window, people do not whisper. So here is the honest first show review, without a fake star rating and without a spoiler map. If you are a Yash viewer, the thing you came for is on screen. Presence, look, entry, the dual role promise, the scale of the sets, a circus fight beat people actually named, and stretches with Kiara that even the angry first half posts keep exempting. If you came for a fairy tale with a spine, character introductions that stick, a plot that moves between action blocks, an edit that respects 3 hours 14, a score that is music instead of volume, the first crowd is warning you that the spine is the missing organ. Watch it only as an adult. Leave children at home. If you are picking a dubbed print, listen to the language complaints before you assume the original Kannada rhythm is what you will hear. And do not read a 72 crore advance as a rave. Money arrived before the reviews did. The reviews arrived split. The star on one side of the sentence, the movie on the other. That is the opening morning of Toxic. Yash showed up. The fairy tale still has to prove it is a story.